So if we look at how reality is fractal and holographic in nature, the idea that every aspect of creation contains source consciousness, contains the whole, much like a hologram in a kid's toy. And so reality is also fractal in nature. And one of the ways we see the fractal nature of reality play out in reality is through the idea of the splitting prism, the light being split into the 7 rays of the rainbow, or the 7 rays of prismatic light. And this also mirrors through, as I understand it, through all layers of creation. Like, life is pure light. Our essence, our true essence, is pure consciousness. We may see this as pure light. Our nature is light, or love light. And as we see our nature as light, as our nature as source consciousness, as God consciousness, as our true nature, as we understand this as light, we can see that the fractal nature of reality is expressed in many ways. One way through the 7 chakras of the body. Ultimately, we are the pure white light, and we see this expressed through the violet, white, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red chakras of the body. And according to a model of creation that was really mainly outlined originally, I believe, one of the main sources of it was the Ra material, the Law of One, channeled by Carla Reichert. In this model, she talks about how creation is structured through 7 densities of creation. There are kind of like dimensions. There are 7 densities of creation. And what the densities of creation are where this light splits prismatically into the 7 rays of consciousness, the 7 rays of life. And we see this expressed again as we see it in the chakra body and in the prism of light in the rainbow. We see it expressed through the 7 dimensions, or the 7 densities of consciousness of creation. And a density refers to density of light. So the lowest density consciousness, rock life, mineral life, earth, air, fire and water, contain the lowest levels of light. And the highest density entities like angels and these kind of high consciousness beings contain the highest frequency of the highest density of light, the highest density of photon particles within their being. And so this is one way we can see how reality is fractal in nature and holographic. And so the idea is that reality being fractal and holographic, reality is a fractal holographic expression of ourself, of our true nature as true love, light, source consciousness. So as us, as true light consciousness, expresses in this reality fractally through the 7 densities of consciousness, which are density 1, rock and mineral life, density 2, plant and animal life, density 3, self-aware human life, density 4, consciousness that is fully integrated with its higher self and its heart, like extraterrestrial life, and like 5th, 6th, 7th density are like non-physical beings of high dimensional, high light consciousness. And so the idea, this is how reality is fractal in nature, or one expression of reality being fractal and holographic in nature. And the reason why it's holographic is because every aspect of creation, like you, me, us, the rocks, the plants, the animals, the angels, the deities, the ETs, we all contain source consciousness. We all are ultimately infinite awareness, just having the experience, this focused experience of this present moment. So this is why we are holographic in nature, because we all contain source within us. And this is the idea of enlightenment and self-realization, remembering that we are source consciousness and experiencing ourselves as infinite self. And this is the transition from 3rd to 4th density, incidentally, that we as humans are going through at the minute. The realization that we are the reality we previously thought we existed in, the realization we are source consciousness. And so as we see, we've got these 7 densities of creation, these 7 holographic, fractal expressions of our infinite self, our infinite love, light, self, source consciousness. expressing in reality, the way we express this is through symbolism. And this is why we see in like ancient Egypt and these ancient cultures, why their high culture and their high language was based and expressed through symbolism, because symbolism is the language of the higher mind, the language of the higher self. Everything we see in our reality is a symbol of our higher self, a symbol of our current level of consciousness, our current understanding of ourself as pure light being expressed to us in the form of a fractal holographic symbol. And I will explain. So we have a, whoa, if I don't fall off the cliff. so we have a rock here, yeah? And we can tune into the density of the rock, and we can begin to see what the rock fractally and holographically symbolizes to us about our true nature as love, light, bliss, source consciousness. And so we can tune into the consciousness of this first density entity. And so first density is the expression of beingness, the expression of awareness. So rocks are conscious, they are pure conscious, they're not self-aware, it doesn't know it's a rock, but it is aware. It's just an expression of the pure consciousness, of source consciousness in physical reality. And this is what rocks experience for many millions of years before they begin to clash together and evolve into crystals and evolve into the plant kingdom, where they explore the story of movement and growth. And so what this rock symbolizes to us fractally and holographically is the idea of beingness, the idea of our true nature as love, light, source consciousness, which is a state of pure beingness, pure awareness. And we see many spiritual teachers such as Mooji and Eckhart Tolle talk about beingness and pure awareness. So Mooji and Eckhart Tolle are teaching like level 1, like about first density. So that's a joke, kind of. So no, but So Mooji and Eckhart Tolle are teaching about embodying the pure awareness, the pure consciousness, the pure infinite beingness of creation that the rock holds, but embodying it in our physical lives and using it in our physical lives to create better lives for ourselves, which is awesome, of course. And this is what we learn from all the densities of creation. And so we may look at the eucalyptus tree here as another symbol, another fractal holographic symbol of our true nature as love, light, source consciousness, as everything is. A fractal holographic symbol of our true nature as love, light, source consciousness, mirroring back to us everything we need in the moment to learn more about our true nature as love, light, source consciousness. So when we look deeper into the matrix, deeper into the construct, and understand that everything is a symbol of our infinite self, designed to wake us up, designed to remind us that we are infinite love, light, source, bliss, we can see how this expresses in the second density eucalyptus tree through the idea of what does the eucalyptus tree symbolize to us? Well, up here in the Andes, it's a pretty harsh environment. You have to be pretty tough, pretty strong to survive. Like all the locals, they're super tough, super strong around here. And much the same as the eucalyptus tree, growing up in this harsh environment, the eucalyptus tree is evolved to become super strong. Like I tried sawing through one of these to make some logs, and believe me, these are tough wood. Those eucalyptus stems, well, the leaves burn like fire because they're full of the oil, and you assume that the wood's the same. That wood is super tough, and it's used in all the construction around here, all the buildings. You can even see it behind me. I believe they all use these eucalyptus timbers because they're so strong. And it's because it grows up in a harsh environment. So fractally, holographically, and symbolically, the eucalyptus tree symbolizes to us the aspect of us that can grow strong in a harsh environment, very much like the lotus flower. I mean, this can be a classic symbol because as the lotus flower grows strong in a harsh environment, in the mud, the lotus flower grows into a 1,000-petaled, beautiful, enlightened entity in the mud of a swamp, much in the same way as the eucalyptus tree in this harsh environment where we can go months without rain, and it can get cold at night, hot in the day. The eucalyptus tree learns just to grow strong in this environment and thrives, and grows this strong trunk that is resilient to these strong fluctuations in temperature and conditions through the seasons. So be strong like the eucalyptus tree, grow a strong trunk, and Yeah, so this is kind of the idea of the densities of creation and how everything in creation reflects back to us. And of course we can see this even more in the higher densities, like the higher densities are symbols of our higher consciousness leading up to source, like fourth density, the ETs operating on a very aligned, tuned in way, creating amazing realities for themselves, an aspect of our creative potential as source consciousness. As it says in the Bible, we are made in the image of God. As I understand it, this means we are made with the power to create our own reality within us. So the ETs in fourth density reflect this back to us holographically, fractally and symbolically. And we see this in the higher densities going up to sixth density, seventh density, into the pure union with source. So the sixth density angels, they represent like pure compassion, pure love, just pure existence, just wanting to serve and love and create, which is another fractal, holographic and symbolic expression of our true nature as love, light, bliss, source consciousness expressing within the matrix. So have a great day, guys. I hope you got something from this video. Peace out. Shivai.